Hey everybody, it's Safi and Mark of Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again to talk about Infinite. Sorry, I almost forgot what it was. Oh wow. This movie, this, this, this new Mark Wahlberg movie, let's just say, movies are starting to surprise me with how bad they can truly be. Because this movie was a disaster. And I don't mean just like any disaster. I mean this movie was a real disaster. It was really, really bad. And I know you guys hear me say that a lot, but it's because I'm reviewing all these new movies, and I'm telling you, I swear, I watch movies all the time from before 2021, and for the most part, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I don't watch many bad movies. I have watched a few, though. I mean, I'll talk about those at the end of the year. I mean, there's definitely movies way worse than the ones that came out this year. But wow, Infinite, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know. It was like torture having to watch the whole thing. It really was like torture. It was like, it's like this stupid plot that you've heard a million times, where there's two sides, and one of them is like a good side and the other one is like a bad side. That sounded so I'm serious, that's what the plot is. And so these guys, they have this power, and they can remember all their past lives, but it takes them like a million years to do it. I mean, spoiler alert, it takes the guy like 3/4 of the movie to remember his past. So it's not really much of a gift, is it? I mean, then there's all these other powers that they could have. Like, it's just so confusing. Just so many random powers that they have for convenience. Like, the main guy, he gets like these special like powers where he can like bend the universe to his will, and like this very weird and confusing what was that called? Power scaling, because everyone just had a bunch of different powers. It was just very weird, and the plot, it was so bad. It was another. Okay, am I the only one who's getting sick of the plot where you have a main character and they have to go on an adventure and they have to go see this new world and they gotta ask questions about that new world and they gotta learn and they gotta meet the people in the world who are gonna help him fight bad guy, and he's gonna have some conflict with them. He's gonna have to work out some issues with them. Like, am I the only one who's getting fucking sick of that stupid plot? I am so sick of these stupid, generic, boring, dumb fucking movies. What were they thinking with that plot? You have this abstract concept, that involves multiple lives, it involves reincarnation, it involves so many different things, because in each life you're a different person, you're a different religion, you're a different culture. No! None of that is explored. You know what's explored? Oh, look, there's the quirky technology guy, and he just happens to be like, I don't know what the fuck he is, because at one point they call him this guy, like this guy is high or something like that, and then he's like, I reject the gender labeling. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, this is so stupid. It is so Just, oh, I'm so sick of this shit. And then, of course, if that's not bad enough, if all that stuff isn't bad enough, you got the bad guy. Played by, I'm not gonna pronounce his name badly, so I'll just say the guy from 12 Years a Slave. I really liked him in 12 Years a Slave, and I think he is a good actor. He was terrible in Doctor Strange. He played Token Baron Mordo in that Doctor Strange movie. But in this, he's really weird. I mean, he's like insane and goofy, and it's a very weird performance, a very weird character. His character's basically a guy who's gone insane, and he wants to kill everyone and everything, including himself, and make it so that nobody can be reincarnated ever again. And I think that that's kind of dumb. It's just not good. I mean, it's like every movie I've ever seen before 1,000,000 times over again. It's so generic. It's so not special. I just wish that they would have taken the effort to actually write an intelligent story for adults instead of writing this terrible, fill in the blank type of story. It reminds me a lot of, Cloud Atlas. If you really dumb that down and made it a piece of shit generic action movie. So yeah, remember how good Cloud Atlas was? It wasn't that good, but it was good. Well, this movie is the dumb version of that. It's Cloud Atlas for retards. And the main thing of this movie is that I'm so sick of movies nowadays and how they're so bad. They're so, you can just tell everything that's going to happen. And so every movie that comes out nowadays is like a GTA parody poster. Like, remember in the GTA games, they have all the movie posters, like Sequel 10 or something like that. Like, this is the type of movie you'd see in a GTA parody poster. That's how bad it is. And that's how bad movies are nowadays. And I'm really getting sick and tired of having to watch these terrible movies. I mean, these are 2 hours each. It's such a terrible waste of time to watch these pathetic movies that don't have any value to them whatsoever aside the stupid action. There's hardly any action in this movie. And, oh yeah, it looks good because it was shot with a special camera that cost thousands of dollars. Or millions of dollars, whatever. It was shot with an expensive camera, so that means it's good. That's basically the logic a lot of people use nowadays. It looks good, so it's good. No. And then the biggest issue with the movie is the star. If you could even call him a star. I mean, they got, I don't know why they're still hiring this guy, Mark Wahlberg. Ugh. God, what a shitty actor. What a lousy actor. He can't act worth shit. And in this movie, it's no exception. You see him, and he's just doing the generic things he always does. He sounds like he always does. He's hilarious sometimes, where it's like, God, you really think that this is good? I mean, you're so terrible. You're so bad. And he's good when he plays a dipshit like that guy in Boogie Nights. The guy in Boogie Nights, he was a male bimbo, basically. And in this movie, he's trying to play like a serious character, and it just does not work at all. And I think that was the biggest mistake of this movie, is having that terrible actor lead the film. I mean, and I saw him on his little Wall Street series. He's like making this movie. It's like, and you see him making this movie, it's like there's no passion there whatsoever. It's like, I'm just going through the motions so I can get another movie done. I'm doing this movie called Infinite. and yeah, let's just get it over with, and I'll do the next movie. You know, that's the attitude I got from him, and that's what it really feels like in the film too. It just feels like you could replace him with anyone, and they would be a million times better. Like, just imagine. So, spoiler alert. Well, it's not really spoiler. The main guy, he is reincarnated from another guy played by Dylan O'Brien. Okay, now Dylan O'Brien is a good actor, and he was in Teen Wolf, and he's really, really good. I mean, I know that Teen Wolf, you know, it got kind of bad. I didn't really like the fandom and stuff with that. I won't talk about that here. But Dylan O'Brien's such a good actor, and just imagine how better this movie would have been if you had had Dylan O'Brien instead of Mark Wahlberg. And yeah, there you go. That's an easy fix too. All you gotta do is say, Mark Wahlberg, you can be the special role in the back here. We're gonna have Dylan O'Brien come to the front because he's an actual actor who can act. He can actually play characters, you know, he can talk like a person. He doesn't talk like, hey, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I am here to do a part. What is going on here? I am, who's the bad guy? Oh, you thought you got me? Oh, remember that metal plate in my head? From the car crash? That's what this guy sounds like. I mean, I can't believe he's in movies nowadays. I can't believe it. I mean, he's not even muscular, and in this film, he doesn't even, he's in this, like, leather jacket, generic hero suit, where he just looks like this dull guy you'd never want to hang out with. I mean, this guy, I can't identify with him at all, and that has nothing to do with the BS representation. I don't mean like that. I just mean that he's just so dull, and he's like a straight-laced, tight-ass motherfucker. I can't identify with that kind of guy unless it's like he's like cool in some type of way. You know, you gotta have a main character people can get into. You know, you can't have hey, I'm Mark Wahlberg. Oh, I had this troublesome past. I misunderstood. That's him in this movie. Couldn't believe it. I was like, God, this is so terrible. And the movie, it's entertaining in like a bad way. Like, there's movies this year that were way worse because they were just very offensive how bad they were. This was, you know, it was mildly entertaining at the very best. But it was still a piece of shit. The plot was terrible, the dialogue was terrible, the characters were terrible. I haven't even gotten through all the characters. Like, you had the generic female lead, she was boring. Hopefully she gets better roles where she can act in them, because that's another thing too, is that the characters in this movie, they're all just cardboard cutouts. And so when you have a cardboard cutout character, you really don't have a chance to act, because you're stuck in that role. You're stuck in that outline. What I would rate this movie is, it's tough because excuse me, sorry, I just ate breakfast. It's tough because I was gonna rate this movie one thing, but I think I'll rate it another thing. You know, I was gonna rate this movie Wahlburgers because we've gotten those from the store, the Wahlburger meat. I think that the Wahlburger meat is better than this shitty movie. And so I'm gonna rate this movie something that is gonna be so insulting, it's gonna blow these people's minds. I would rate this movie The Wallpaper. You know why? Because watching this movie is the equivalent of sticking your tongue out and licking wallpaper. All day long, licking that wallpaper. That's what this movie's like. Taste it. You can't taste anything. It tastes weird, dumb, nothing tastes. That is this movie. It is a nothing movie. It is infinitely forgettable. It's an infinite piece of trash. And I recommend you stay away from this crappy movie and spend your time watching. And that's another thing, too, is that this movie was really saved by Paramount Plus, because this movie was originally supposed to be in theaters. Because it was shot with an expensive camera and it was made by a multi-million studio. So that's but then Paramount Plus said, nope, it's going to be on Paramount Plus, and it's going to be a Paramount Plus exclusive. That's the best thing they could have ever done for this piece of shit movie. You know why? Because it's going to be forgotten. Not many people are going to talk about it. All the big reviewer channels that would have talked about it, they're not going to talk about it because they don't care about Paramount Plus. And so they're not going to highlight how shitty this movie was. And so you're basically sort of like evading danger. You're getting off the radar of their shit radar. And so you should be really thankful that this movie doesn't have attention. Because if it did, people would shit all over it. And I would probably be even more angrier because I would have seen it in theaters and wasted money. Like with The Woman in the Window. It's really good that they're taking these terrible movies and putting them on streaming services where they belong with other shitty movies on streaming services. So anyways, if you like this video, if you like Mark Wahlberg, you think he's a good actor, do you like Planet of the Apes, or he was please like this video and subscribe to our channel and share this video with all your friends and family who also like Mark Wahlberg. Goodbye, everybody.